What's up, y'all? Welcome back again. This is day 2 of me telling y'all my story because I feel it's imperative that y'all know the whole doggone thing. 6 days before moving day. I'm gonna drop these videos. I don't know. You'll get them after, like I say, starting with the day I move, and therefore you'll get them. But I wanted to tell y'all, like, I think I left off on December. Ooh, I'm almost out of gas, and I'm late for work. I didn't realize the time had got by me. I'm gonna tell you why the time got by me in a minute. Okay, so check it. So I think I left off with telling y'all, like, I'm on my 7th realtor, my 5th lender, and shit just wasn't working out in my favor as far as trying to find a house, right? So I don't even remember what happened with the first lender. With the first realtor. Was she my first one? Oh, the guy. So far he wasn't able to find me houses that I liked, okay? He was trying to put me with his friend who was a mortgage lender. This is Chris. I had to keep it in my mind who it was. He was trying to put me with his friend that was a mortgage lender. That lender, he's like, oh, he can get anybody approved. He just got my mom approved. She doesn't even have a job. She's on a fixed income. If anybody could do it, he could do it. He's the man. I need to put y'all on pause so I can get this gas. Turn off this windshield wiper. It's loud and it's all making noise in the background. If anybody could do it, he could do it, right? Pause. I just had to step in here for a second just to let y'all know there's a girl over on the next pump, baby. She is all in her coochie. All in it. I don't know if she need a bath or a prescription. But baby, she is going to town. Then she turned around and looked at something that I was looking. I can't help but look like your nasty ass. So she gonna try to scoot up so I can't see. I can still tell you in your coochie, ma'am, because you're bending over like you trying to get something out of that motherfucker. I don't know, giving birth. Like, oh, she nasty. And then she touching these gas pumps. That's just nasty. Oh, nasty, delicious. Okay, so yeah, I was using the paper towel to do my gas pump. Plus, they got like hand sanitizers right here too. Nasty. Oh, people just trifling. For no good god doggone reason. Ooh. Okay, so I talked to his boy. His name was Brandon, right? And Brandon was like, "You got too much shit on your credit. It's fucked up, dog. It's fucked up." So I say, let's revisit this in a few months. Now, I'm going on the mindset, Chris is the man, and Brandon is the man. And Brandon can do anything because that's what Chris told me. He can get me to where I need to be. And Brandon said, no, I can't. So I called Chris back and I was like, well, Brandon said he can't help me. He would say, that's not true. Let me call him back. And so I never heard from Chris again. Never heard from Brandon again. So we out looking at places. We were finding a lot of places that were doing open houses. So at one of the open houses we went to, I met another realtor. Now, I don't know why I decided to talk to this woman, because the house that they were showing was infested with flies. Flies was everywhere. I don't know if it had roaches, but it had flies. And you can clearly tell that they had been in that house spraying with bug spray, trying to kill all these flies before the open house. Baby, cancel the open house. Cancel the open house. But me and my child, we is dumb too. We decided to still look at the damn property and pretend like we didn't see all these flies that was around. They had all the doors open. They were swatting this, that, and other. And the agent there was like, look, I understand that you don't want to do anything with this house, but somehow, when you come into, you still sign like a little list up, right? And you take advantage of, I need something on my lips. What is this? Is this lipstick? I don't want to put on lipstick. Okay. You sign up so they can know that you was there. I got some Hello Kitty lip balm. I don't even have my own lip balm today. I got Hello Kitty. I still use other people's stuff. This don't last as long as mine. It don't last as long as mine. I just like Hello Kitty everything, but it don't last as long as mine, child. Mine give you that 8 hours of moisturization. So, about a month passed, and she called me up, and she was like, look, I got a house for you to look at based off of what you had told me that you was interested in. Are you interested in going to see it? I was like, you know what? I am. And if I'm going off of what Brandon had told me, I only needed a couple months to clear up some stuff that I had on my credit report, because some stuff was going to drop off. I think it was something like that. It's my student loans that need to be straightened out. And then, okay, so I had entered back into a payment arrangement at the time. This was 2 years ago now. So I decided to go ahead and meet this chick. And we really liked the house. Well, we didn't really like the house. Well, actually, no, we really liked the house that she showed us. We didn't like the area that she showed us in. Baby. Pearl clutching time. Pearl clutching time when you walked in. That's how we felt about the house. So she was really personable and really interested in trying to find us a home. She was a young girl. As a matter of fact, I think she was a new realtor too, because she told me her primary job was working at Chili's. So we like, all right, let's give old girl a chance. I'm gonna give old girl a chance. So we let her take us on the route, show us a few houses, right? And we weren't finding anything that we liked. She told me that I should, in dealing with the credit issue, because I was telling her about the lending situation that I hadn't secured a loan at that time. She told me to put the house in my daughter's name. Now, I was taking offense to this, because I had just explained to her about the type of credit issues I had, where some of my credit problems came from, being victim of fraud and things like that. And I didn't want to have to put that type of shit on my own kid. I don't try to put stuff in my daughter's name, even though I just asked her, gave her her name for a certain reason, but we'll talk about that another time. But I normally don't do stuff like that, because I had that done to me, and I didn't like the way it felt when I turned 18. I got all this debt from shit that I didn't have because people put stuff in my name. So I got offended, probably a little bit more offended than I needed to be. So I was like, fuck her. Her name was Christine. So I went from a Crystal Christine. Right? So we still going out, looking at different places, to and fro, because we got to look for places to rent as well. And again, we're steady going to open houses. Christine called me up and said, I got a house for you. This is a perfect house for you. We went out to this house. Baby, was it the perfect house. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was right in my price range. I had just got approved for a loan, despite what Brandon said. I had found me a lender, okay, and got approved for a loan. So I'm talking to Christine, because Christine had sent me somebody. That's what it was. Christine had sent me this lady to use, and that lady approved me for the loan. Now, so I got approved. I got my pre-approval on deck. I'm in fighting spirit. I can go with the amount that the house that's there. And we got beat out for the house. Y'all some ignorant bastards. We got beat out for the house. An older couple in their 70s got this house with the perfect backyard, the perfect screened-in porch. It only had 2 bedrooms, but it was enough space in this property that I was like, it don't even fucking matter. Because, it had a Florida room. In Florida, they have houses that have a living room, a dining room, and what they call a Florida room. Basically, it's a second living room. So it had a Florida room, so I could use that Florida room for whatever I wanted to use for. The house was gorgeous. We loved the area that we was in and everything. And yeah, we got beat out for that house. So, but the problem was, the reason why we got beat out for the house didn't have to do, I mean, the older couple got it, but the lender was giving us issue. We contacted the lender. She wasn't responding. She acted like she didn't know who the fuck Christine was. I'm like, this is the girl who referred me. She's like, I don't know her. So because she didn't know her, she said that she was like pushing me off and all kind of craziness and shit. So I was telling Christine, I was like, no, I got a problem with the lender. Like, say she won't respond back to me. I'm asking questions. She's not responding, this, that, and the third. And then all of a sudden there's radio silence on Christine. It's like, what the fuck happened to Christine? I didn't understand. I go to another house, open house, since I couldn't find Christine. And I meet another lender. She tells me, okay, we gonna get you, she took all my information, so she knew what house I was looking for, and I told her what area I didn't want to live in, instead of third, right? This is Laura. This is the one who I work with the longest. She's the third person now. Okay, Christine, and now Laura. Laura, I told her about the problems I was having with the lender, right? So Laura referred me to another lady. And so now I'm on lender number 3. So the first lender was Brandon. Then I had the second lender, which was Colleen, and the third lender, I can't remember her name, Sandy or something like that. I think it was Sandy. Okay, Sandy got me approved right away, again. So I'm dealing with Sandy and I'm dealing with Laura. Laura's taking me to a bunch of places. I'm liking Laura. Laura seemed to know her shit. She wasn't as green as Christine was. And she's giving me houses that, you know, has potential. Once we get inside of them, like, nah, this ain't working. Halfway through that process, working with Laura, Christmas happened, or Christmas time happened, and Sandy stopped responding. I was like, what the fuck is going on with Sandy? Because after you get your pre-approved loan for so many months, you have to redo it, right? Sandy stopped responding. I sent a letter to Sandy, and Sandy told me she was on the road going to deal with her family. Cool. She hit me back when she got back in town. Sandy got back in town and didn't hit me up. I'm thinking, okay, something happened with the family. So Laura reached out to her. She answered Laura immediately. And she was like, no, I think I responded back to her. And Laura's like, no, we checking the emails, we checking the phone messages. You ain't called her back, you ain't responded. She's like, okay, I'm going to do it today. Didn't do it. This went on for weeks. It rolls it now to January 2021. Okay? So this is like a whole year now. I've gone past me in January 2020, not 2021, 2022. January 2022? January 2022. Yeah, okay. We're rolling around a whole year now. Because this is 23 right now. So, in the middle of this, I get a phone call from another Chris. No, from the first Chris. I was like, look here. Brandon never did hit me back. He told me that I didn't qualify for this and third. You said that you was going to contact him. He never contacted me again. So Chris was like, well, I found a house for you, so let me... Now, Chris was fine. And I'm telling you, this is the only reason why I liked the Chris. He was personal. He was fine. That's why I wanted to work with Chris in the first place. So he reached out to Brandon again. This time, Brandon calls. And I was looking at trying to talk to Laura about possibly getting a brand new home built. I said, as long as this process is taken, I can get the home built, right? Brandon discouraged me from that because of COVID. They was got price gouging on materials and supplies, buying new houses and things like that, right? But somehow he still couldn't get me qualified, he said, which didn't make sense to me. Okay. Then I finally got contacted again, back by Sandy. Sandy says, oh, I think I told you about this, that there was stuff on my credit report that I needed to pay off. And I was like, I don't have anything on my credit report I need to pay off. One thing I had in debt was like my student loans, right? And there had, during the COVID phase, some fraud popped up on my doggone credit report. I was able to get a few of those things resolved almost automatically, okay? Except for one, which was like an AT&T bill. I didn't have AT&T phone service ever. But they said it was for internet, and I didn't have phones. No, it was internet. And I didn't have internet because I had Charter in St. Louis, and I had Charter when I moved here. Right. So her idea was for me to go ahead and pay the debt just so I can get the loan approved, because they won't reapprove it again, right? And I was like, I'm not paying off shit that I didn't have. That's not mine, okay? And she was like, well, it was only $85. It's just $85. I said, well, if it's just $85, then you pay it. She's like, well, it's not my debt. Well, bitch, it's not mine either, so why would I pay it? Okay, so that's the type of conversation we was having. So now I'm dealing with her, and I'm dealing with Brandon. Brandon is still talking about, oh, wait a few more months, and such drop-offs, and this, that, you know. It was a mess. But Sandy found a way to still get me pre-approved, just not at the interest rate that would have been good for me. I was like, we're going to go with this pre-approved. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to, we're going to work some stuff out. She was trying to find all kind of credits and deductions for me and everything like that. I started hunting around for other mortgage lenders and things of that nature as well. And I contacted Veterans United. I don't know why I didn't go with Veterans United. I don't know. Veterans United it seemed weird to me, the original process, because it seemed like everything was done online and I wasn't actually speaking to a live person, so it was weird. So I didn't go with them. Oh, because I got approved for another loan, somebody else. Lender number 4. Oh, I'm on lender number 6. Well, lender number 4 and lender number 6, probably the same people. Okay, anyway, I had got a pre-approval again. Another 90 days, because they give you 90 days to use the pre-approval, whatever. And in the meantime, as I'm working with Laura, who's taking me around the houses. At this time, we were probably about 5 or 6 months in with Laura, and she started to get frustrated, and I could tell. Because now she's taking me to houses in places I told her I didn't want to live. Now she's starting to take me to houses that I don't want to buy. Motherfuckers trying to get me to get a 900 square foot 2-bedroom house that costs $400,000. And then she went on the whole little thing about when I told her about how Christine was trying to tell me put something in my daughter's name. She went on that tip too. Then she went on take money out your retirement so that way you can get a better house in a better neighborhood. Sweetie, I told you I'm 50. I'm about to be 50. I told you that I'm trying to retire. So why would you have me borrow money out of my retirement to buy a house that really I can't afford according to you? It's just in a better neighborhood because you didn't get the only place I can live. And you keep giving me these little rinky-dink ass neighborhoods that's, people, impoverished people don't want to live in. That's what I'm saying. So Laura was starting to frustrate me and get on my nerves. She was bothering me. And my tarot card reading told me I need to change. I need to switch up, get me somebody new, work with, get a new partnership in my life, right? So I got a phone call from another Chris. No, a Brendan. It was a Brendan. I got a call from a Brendan. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck Brendan is. Well, Brendan took over Christine's job. Christine either quit or got fired. I'm not sure which one it was. But they said she no longer worked with the company. And he was following up on all the files that she had and seeing that they wouldn't close and seeing if I was still in the process of buying a house. It's a year later now. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and talk to this guy. Talk to him, right? So I found this house that I like. I had started finding houses because Laura wouldn't give me what I want. Found this house that I like. I asked Laura to set up a meeting, right? She told me she wasn't available to do it at the time that I could go. So Brendan, called him. He said, let's go. Let's do it, right? We went out there, looked at the house. We liked the house. It's a nice neighborhood. It was a bit older house. It reminded me of homes in St. Louis. We liked that house, right? And We get out there and he talked to the agent, and the agent said that she was going to stop accepting offers at 6 o'clock on Monday. This was Saturday, so I had time to think about it, right? Laura then calls and says, well, I can go out to the house now, later on in the afternoon. I was like, no, that's okay. I said, I already talked to the agent, that was there. And then, so she come back and said, well, she said she's stopped accepting offers already. I said, well, why are we going to see it if she stopped accepting offers already? And I'm thinking, Brandon just told me that the lady said she stopped accepting offers at Monday at 6. Right? So I called Brandon and I said, you know what, the agent there said that she stopped accepting offers already. He was like, that ain't what she told me, right? Called to say, and he verified, yeah, she changed when she was going to stop accepting offers. She did stop accepting offers. He's like, so what you want to do? Put in a backup offer, right? I was like, a backup offer? I didn't think I could do such a thing. He's like, yeah, in case that offer fall through, then they already got one on the table that they could use as a backup offer. I said, this whole doggone time, I've been dealing with Laura and putting in offers and getting rejected and been missing out. And I didn't realize I could put in a backup offer on these houses because a lot of them had failed through already. So I was like, let me think about the backup offer, because I was starting to get a weird vibe about the whole situation, right? And I told Brandon I didn't want to do the backup offer. After I told him I didn't want to do the backup offer, I reached out to him again to look at some other houses. He never responded. He said, fuck us, you wasted my time. That's what basically he said. So I'm still dealing with Laura. Still seeing places. She's still taking me places that I don't want to see. Still taking me neighborhoods I don't want to live in. Still trying to convince me to take money from this, that, and the third, or increase how much that I want to pay. And Sandy stopped responding again, the lender. So she finally said, you know what, I'll find you somebody else. She just closed on a house that was dealing with Rocket Mortgage. So she got me Rocket Mortgage. This is lender number 6. Got me. Lender number 5. Got me with Rocket Mortgage. So since Laura was still sending me houses and taking me places that I didn't want to go, that I didn't like, trying to convince me to buy property I didn't want to buy. Again, I started venturing out on my own, going to open houses. Met another realtor who, was basically trying to get my business. And I kept telling people, I'm working with whoever is going to find me the house. I'm not signing a buyer's contract or nothing like that. So I'm just going to do what I got to do, right? So I'm talking to this lender. Now, the house that she is showing me, I am interested in. So I can't use her. I didn't want to use her as the buying agent when she's the seller's agent, right? So I reached out to Laura and said, okay, I'm interested in this house. I want to write a contract. Now, the whole conversation that I had with the other girl, her name was Linda, when she talked to Laura, everything changed. Everything that she was trying to negotiate with me as far as like me being interested in being a customer for her, none of that stuff was available. And I was like, when she was telling me that I could do these same programs and work with these same things, in buying the house that she's selling. So I tried to call her back. Bitch wouldn't answer my call. Wouldn't answer my call. So again, I'm stuck with Laura. Now I'm getting frustrated, y'all. I'm frustrated, so I'm starting to look at places that I know I don't want to live in, places that are like an hour and a half outside of Orlando, places that's in predominantly racist neighborhoods. I even went and increased my pre-approval amount just so I could get a house that I want. But then I started finding houses in the price range that I was looking in. Putting in offers left and right. I was getting beat out by cash offers, boom. Then I started meeting up with people that didn't want to use the VA loan because they trying to sell me raggedy ass houses. They want to sell me as is properties without making any type of repairs for like anywhere from $350,000 to $500,000 houses and shit. So this is the problem I started coming up with. Laura's frustrating me. My tarot cards are still saying I need to change a new partnership. All this, that, and the third is happening. So I went back, started researching loans again, and I ended up back with Veterans United. and got pre-approved for the higher amount. So I'm like, I got more fighting power. And Laura was like, well, let me get access to your pre-approved letters. That way, if anything pop up, I could just change the letter for you. And I'm thinking, you ain't changing shit for me. You ain't changing nothing without my approval. Okay, that's what my brain was thinking. And so, but I'm looking out in these neighborhoods that she want me to look in, and she's excited about it. But they was actually near where she lived. I don't know, maybe she wanted us to be besties. I don't know. But I was like, this neighborhood nice, but it's far from everything. It'll take me over an hour to get to work. Take me almost 2 hours to get to the airport. Take me, if I just want to go to a fucking movies, every grocery store, half hour away, it's far. I don't want to live rural like that, right? But I was starting to concede. I really was. I was starting to concede. And then Veterans United said, hey, if you work with one of our lenders, we can give you a credit on your closing. We can call and let Laura know that you would be using one of ours. I said, you know what? I've been working for her so a long time. I'm going to call myself. I called her. She got an attitude. Told me that they was just trying to stab her in the back. And I said, this is a way for me to save money. And you worry about you being stabbed in the back. I'm supposed to be buying with the benefit of me spending the least amount of money as possible. So I started working with their lender. I did not tell her that I'll start working with her. I was working with both of them. Everyone's gonna find me a house. Every time that I got with a house with Laura, I got offended at what she was bringing to me. And oh boy was giving me everything I need. Man, he was dropping jewels and gems on me. When it came time to get this house, I was like, you know what? I got to December 15th to buy a house because I have to renew this lease, or by going to a whole new lease, I need to put y'all on pause for a second, right? Or do a whole new lease or something with somebody else because I can't afford to stay here. And she was like, well, that's okay. We'll take it back up next year. And I was like, I'm not working with you no more. When this is over, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? And James, the new guy, was like, don't give up. We're going to find you something. I said, James, do you understand? I got to have a house within so many days. He said, so what we going to do? We're going to go out every single day. Find me properties here and there. We're going to go look. We did this for 5 days straight. I put in 5 offers. Rejected. No, 3 hours. Rejected. December 12th, we went to this final house. Now, I got to December 15th to make my decision on whether or not I'm going to move. Right? I mean, or where I'm going to move to. Let's say after that, I have to start renting something. And so I called him up. We put in an offer on the house that I currently got. Didn't think it was going to happen. He called me back and said, hey, the sellers don't want to pay your closing costs. What you want to do about that? I said, they need to pay the closing costs. I did take off like $2,000 of what I asked them to pay. That's all I could afford to take off. They got to pay the rest. He called back within an hour and says, no, the next morning. And he says, I said, James, this it. I can't do no more. Maybe we need to go back to the third lady that rejected me. She still got the house on the property. I mean, for sale. No, this lady that rejected me back in October. And she brought it down to the price that I had offered her. So I was like, maybe we need to go back to her. And so he was like, okay, well, if this one don't work out, then we need to go back to her. He said, but you got to accept the full offer. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I got to accept it the next day after I put that offer in. Wednesday, we had my inspection done. Friday, we had my appraisal done. By the following Monday, I was ready to close. They told me closing is going to take an average of 30, 35 days. Within a 7 to 10 day window, I was ready to close on that house. The problem was the sellers wasn't ready to move. They did not expect me to move that fast. So we had to keep my closing date the same as it is, January 13th. Now, the crazy thing is, let me tell you about, in another video, I'm going to tell you about the problems I'm having at work and the problems I'm having with the place I'm renting from right now. I'll come back to y'all in another video. Y'all just going to get my whole little experience in the video on my way to work. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next video. Peace.